Hey guys, it's Justin Wayne here, also known as the Real Life Hitch. And today I'm going to tell you how to attract women with eye contact.
After Justin demonstrated just how easy it can be to make out with women in public, Cosmo invited him to their show.
You're like a real life hitch.
I get this question a lot, and people always ask me, how powerful can eye contact be with women? First of all, they say that body language is actually far more effective to communicate real emotions than words, than just what you say, okay? And knowing this, yes, eye contact is extremely important, along with everything else. And the more important thing about eye contact is not just your eyes, but it's everything that complements your eyes and the time in which you talk to the girl. So I'm gonna give you some simple tips that you can start implementing right away. So we're gonna look into the different types of eye contact. Number one, when you're talking to a group of people. The main time when you're out socializing with girls or you go to clubs, whatever, there's always a group of girls, a group of people in general. And a lot of guys make the mistake and they look at like one person for too long. And what happens is that other people get bored and they lose attention from all the other people in the group. So instead, look at different people while talking. So let's say there's 4 people, look at one person there, then you look at another person there, and you look at another person there and there. You interact with everybody. And to get even more specific, this is more of an advanced concept. The people who seem the least interested, sometimes you might want to spend a little bit more time looking at. So, when you look at somebody, they're more obligated to kind of give you back attention. So if you say, hey, excuse me, it's harder for someone to ignore that. So that's how you do it. So if you have a girl that you're particularly interested in the group, then look at other people more than you look at her, because what's going to happen is that she's going to wonder why you're not giving her that much attention, especially if she's a beautiful girl. She's so used to attention, and later on when you talk to her, she'll appreciate your attention a lot more. So number 2 is one-to-one interacting. Let's call it man-to-woman interacting, okay? So many times when you talk to a girl, like, you can't really look at other people, but sometimes if you do it the right way, you can look at other things. So for example, when I'm saying a story to a girl, I'm not always looking at her head on like this, because this could be very intense. So you want to be careful not to look for too long at her, because that could be, in some situations, too much interest, overbearing. So you want to make sure you're not overbearing, but you also want to make sure you're not on the other side, which is, not even looking at her at all. Like, you're just looking this way, looking down, you're never facing her, right? So that makes it look like you have something to hide and that you're just not a confident male whatsoever. So that the idea is, you look at her sometimes, but depending on what you're talking about, like when I'm saying a story, sometimes I look at myself, I look somewhere there when I'm talking about it, and then come back to her, a few seconds later. So that way, it shows that like I'm not like that intense. But again, this stuff depends on who you are and what you're trying to do, right? So for more seductive moments, that's when I'm gonna give a more intense eye contact. For the seductive moments, you give a more intense eye contact during the seduction moments. However, when it comes to like the normal, like, get to know you conversations, if we're walking together somewhere in the park, whatever, I'm gonna be looking around at the environment too, and then I'll look at her too. I mix it up. I would say you wanna have a ratio, maybe looking at her, maybe 75% of the times you look at her when you're talking to her, and 25% you do other things. It's just kind of a natural ratio that we've noticed in the dating field that tends to work the best. Number 3, and a very important part, is understanding your own eye contact, because different people have different facial expressions. And the problem with that is that I can look at you like this, but it doesn't mean if you do the same thing, it's gonna have the same feel if you try to do the same thing. So what I normally recommend to my clients is I have them record on a video and look at the camera and experiment with different eye contact. So one might be the seductive, where you put a seductive squint your eyes just a little bit. But for some people, it might not work. Or other people, it might be a different kind of, or when they're trying to practice different emotions, trying to communicate it with your eyes. So doing video drills like this on video camera and playing it back can help you in the long run kind of measure how you look at it, and you can send to a few other friends that are close to you, or make it even better, you can send to a coach like me, and we can analyze that for you to kind of understand what you're doing. So a very important part about eye contact is understand the emotions behind it. And so by understanding the emotions that you want to project to the woman, understanding how to project it is very important. And the question is, how do you learn how to project, for example, anger in your eyes? Or it's like callous fun. Like, you're just like shooting the shit, there's different, eye contacts that you can use, different, facial expressions. It's not just the eyes, it's the full face. But, the more you can communicate with the eyes, the less talking you have to do, in meeting women. And also, the easier it is to communicate with people everywhere, right? And that's why I always talk about, what we generally recommend people, and that's why I talk about this a lot. Most men that look at these videos, a lot of people haven't really perfected or mastered their facial expressions. So they don't know how to deliver exactly what they're feeling through their face and through their eyes. And this could take some time to practice. So a lot of people ask me, how do you practice this? Do you just do your face like this or this or this or this? A lot of people ask me that. And the best way to practice this is you practice in front, not of a mirror, but actually have a video camera. You take your cell phone and you wake up in the morning, sometimes you practice these different emotions like anger or laughter, or just seduction, right? You practice these different eye contacts to yourself. And that's a good way to kind of understand how you look while you're doing it. So when you're doing it to a girl, you have an idea of what she's looking at, all right? So that's like a really great tip. I want you guys to take action in your life right now. I want you to actually check out our free seduction course I have just for you to become much better with women in your relationships, in your online dating, everything. We cover everything that you need to do here. It's an A to Z course to get you jump started and making things happen for you. You don't deserve to be alone. You deserve to be with the type of girls that you want to be with. I did it, a lot of my clients have done it, and you deserve to do it too. Peace out.